Welcome back. The number of victims of human trafficking continues to rise. Within the past decade, over 100 victims were rescued here in North Dakota.
Teresa Lewis and Lisa Hansen are here to tell us how we can all help local trafficking victims. So good morning to both of you ladies.
Good morning.
And Teresa, usually when you're here, you're talking about inspirational things, and now you're inspiring us to help others.
Yeah, this isn't really an uplifting topic by any means, but it is a real topic that I think we have to talk about and that we need to shed light on. When we talk about 100 victims locally, like, that's meaningful, that's impactful. And, you know, it's just one of those things that's just, you know, it hurts my heart when I think about it. So I've known Lisa for a long time and what she's up to, and just started to get more involved recently. So it's just been an amazing journey to really just try to give back and pour back into the community and help others.
So Lisa, let's talk about how you are helping others.
So like 5 years ago, I started the organization called Voice for the Captives, and I just knew we needed to educate and bring some awareness to our community before you could even fight something. And a couple years ago, I actually started listening to the stories of survivors and their needs, trying to get back on their feet and then back into the community. And through that, I saw they had a lot of obstacles that they needed to get through in order to do that. A lot of them need childcare, just financial needs, food, clothing, education. So that's kind of where the next step comes in, just to help that fill in that gap and bridge that for them to get back on their feet. So that's where we started the Next Step ND, and that's not just for the Fargo community, but the state of North Dakota.
Wow. And if someone, you know, is watching this and wants to help because, you know, they might not have realized how many victims there have been in the area, how can they do that?
They can go on our website, and they can just simply email me on our website, and we can plug them in somewhere with volunteering or events in town that we do. So there's different ways they can do that. So.
And to hear 100, you know, sometimes it is easy to try to kind of turn the other way and not listen to these stories because they can be heartbreaking. So is that something that you've kind of, Teresa, you know, finally seen, and that's why you want other people to open their eyes to it too?
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, it's easy to think that it's a big city issue, that it happens somewhere else outside of Fargo-Moorhead, outside of North Dakota. And then when you really hear the stories and you hear what's going on, the impact that we have an opportunity to make is huge. And, you know, I think, you know, what's prevented me in the past is, like, it feels overwhelming. You know, it feels overwhelming, like, how can I do anything? But then you just have to start somewhere, you know? So here's local organizations that are doing something, and they have started somewhere. So it's pretty cool.
And as you said, some of those challenges include just even needing more education so that they can go on to the better jobs to help provide for their family. I mean, it can be a wide range of things.
Right. A lot of these girls come out, and a lot of them have felonies or records. They have no skills or education level. So there's a huge burden that they come out with. And, you know, once they're out of the counseling and the treatment centers or the shelters, once they come out of that, you know, they try to get back on their feet, and they're put in maybe a low-income housing unit, and they're kind of on their own. And there's just no way they're going to make it unless there's somebody helping to bridge that gap. So last year on Backpage.com alone, there was 72,000 posts selling women and children. That's in 2016, and that's just in the state of North Dakota.
Wow.
So we helped 100 people, but there was 72,000 posts. So that means there's a huge demand here in the state of North Dakota for that.
Yeah, and how does it feel being able to help these victims personally? I'm sure it's so fulfilling knowing you're helping them.
It really is, just to see the needs. You know, I don't get the calls off the street. That's not where we start with victims. I start at a point where they're survivor care, so when they're trying to get actually back on their feet. But I get the calls from YouthWorks, our navigator here in Fargo, and or any shelter, rape and abuse. They'll call me. And they'll need 10, 15 gift cards because they got a bunch of girls coming in that they needed help for immediately. And mine's a ministry, so I'm able to have the flexibility to immediately help them financially. So then they give me a call, and I don't always get to meet them right away. So the second part is a relationship. So I hopefully later on they'll reach out to me and want to start that process. And I'm a Christian organization, so my underlining work is to be able to share the gospel with these girls, so they have hope and healing.
And of course, we can all, as Teresa said, start somewhere and help out. So we'll tell you how you can do that after a quick break.